What is up, everybody? Gonna be a good Q&A. It's gonna be simply awesome. I can't wait. We're gonna be answering all fantasy questions you guys have. Make sure to join the Splash link. Make sure to join everything that you can that I have a link in my bio for. I would appreciate the support. And it's also fun. Like the Splash Sports stuff is super fun. Same with Chalkboard. Not enough people are on Chalkboard yet. So I feel like that's definitely the next sleeper, the next, prize picks and all that stuff. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you also check out Fantasy Pros's Fantasy Pros. And basically what you do is you can download the premium version, which evaluates your team and with all these experts and stuff like that. And you can do it for free trial using my code. So make sure you do that. What's up, Sean? What's up, everybody? So I wanted to answer any questions because I know I've been getting a lot of DMs and I just can't singularly respond to all of them. It would just take forever. But yeah. Wide receiver room is Tet, J-Mo, Igbuka, Pearsall, Jay Higgins. Pick three to start. You got to start Pearsall this week and McMillan. I would probably start Igbuka. Yeah. Stephon Diggs fantasy football outlook this year. I don't love it. I mean, the problem is he's kind of washed, but at the end of the day, there's not much in that wide receiver room, right? So you have Kyle Williams, who's a rookie, and you just have Diggs pretty much. So I could see a lot of utilization of Hunter Henry in that offense. I would not be shocked if Hunter Henry has a huge year at tight end. Strange or Pitts, I would do Brendan Strange. People forget in this Jaguars offense, I know it was a different OC, but Evan Ingram was the tight end 3 just a few years ago in that offense. Hampton top what running back this year? I'd say top 15. I mean, Najee's apparently going to start. Like, let's be real. Come on. This fucker sucks. Not really going to start for long. Pollard, Henderson, and Swift. Which two do you start? I would go. Swift has a brutal matchup week 1. I'd go Henderson and Pollard week 1. Yeah. Pacheco or Monty. I would go probably Monty. I think the touchdowns are just going to be the difference there. But yeah, we'll make sure the chat's up right here. And if you're having any, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube and follow me on X as well. I'm going to be putting some more in-depth stuff on X. I've never been a big Twitter person, but you know what? Seems like everyone's becoming a Yahoo Fantasy Sports contributor if they get big on Twitter. So I'd appreciate if you guys follow me there, and I'll start posting some more stuff there instead of just being solely a TikToker. And also make sure you're following me here. I like to think I am very helpful. I've won people a lot of leagues. Not right about everything. I don't say I am right about everything, but I'm going to stick to my beliefs. That's something I'm always going to do. Everyone tries to cook me and my other leagues for drafting 4 or 5 rookies, but they don't know that if you draft 5 rookies, high upside guys, let's say McMillan, Harvey, Igbuka, Genty, and Hampton. Let's just say those 5 guys. 3 out of 5 of them are going to pop off, and the other 2 don't matter because they're not in your starting lineup, right? So that's why I always think rookies are the most undervalued picks in fantasy football because no one knows what they're going to do. But if you look at the metrics, Harvey should be good. I don't know about week 1 because I've heard he's had some struggles in pass pro, which is fine. I mean, Dobbins isn't going to stay healthy forever. He barely has an ACL left, so. Pickens or Pearsall? I would start Pearsall this week. Pickens has a brutal matchup. Yeah. Pearsall for Sutton. Right now, that's such a hard trade. I'd keep Pearsall just to see what he can do and see what the hype is. I feel like if you're trading him, you'd be trading him at a low, whereas Sutton's at a high. I don't think his value gets any higher, even though I like Sutton a lot. But I mean, you have Troy Franklin, who's going to take away some targets from him, Marvin Mims, Evan Ingram, and RJ Harvey in the backfield. So I think Sutton's career year was last year. Sutton versus DK this season and also for Dynasty. I'd lean DK for both, honestly. I know people really hate DK, and I know he's underperformed throughout his career considering the talent that he has, but I would still have DK for Dynasty and this year. I mean, Rodgers got to throw to somebody. He's not throwing to Calvin Austin. So start Caleb Johnson or Scattaboo. I would start neither this week because I don't think either are going to get many snaps in week 1. Looks like they're going to try and see that experiment, and it's going to fail miserably. And then Caleb will get more snaps the following week. I'd be shocked if Scattaboo Scatterboo gets more than like 5 or 6 touches. Like Tyrone Tracy's good. He handled a 20+ touch workload last year very well. So I don't know why people have all this belief in Cam Scatterboo, who was an excellent college player. And I loved him as a prospect. I just thought it was a horrible landing spot. Like Tracy's good. Tracy might be a star. Kraft or Warren this week? I'd start Kraft this week. I mean, Warren, we kind of have to see how he's utilized first if you're between those two. But yeah, we got a question from YouTube here. Make sure, again, you're subbing on YouTube. You're following me on TikTok. I love and appreciate you all, even if you disagree with me. I still appreciate your support, honestly. So thankful to be able to do this every day. And it's all because of you guys. Regardless of whether you hate my content or not, I'd appreciate a follow and a sub on YouTube, and follow me on X for more analysis as well. Parasite frame behind you. Yeah, dude. Best movie of all time. Close. It's up there. It's actually signed by the entire cast. The Parasite picture I have behind there, which is cool. Question from YouTube. Should you drop Brian Robinson or Ollie Gordon for Jerome Ford? No, keep Ollie Gordon and Brian Robinson. Start 2, Ridley, ETN, Mason, Ford, Shakir. Shakir is a brutal matchup. I'd start Ridley, ETN, Ridley and ETN. ETN's definitely going to have a bigger workload than Mason probably week 1. I just want to see more what the Vikings are going to do this week. But yeah. In a non-PBR league, pick 2, Devontae, Worthy, Pickens, or Myers. Devontae is always cryptocurrency. That's why I don't draft him. I hate having him. He's a great real life receiver, but in fantasy, it's like 20 points or 0 points. If we're going non-PPR, those are all wide receivers. I'd probably go Worthy. Myers requested a trade. I don't know if he's even going to play. Worthy and Pickens, maybe. Pickens is a brutal matchup, though. Yeah, I don't know. Start 2, Hampton, Harvey, or Henderson. Harvey, I'd be shocked if he gets more than like 10 to 15 touches week 1. I think they will start using Dobbins a little bit, but they should use Harvey the entire game. But he struggled a little bit in pass pro. So I'd go Henderson and Hampton. I don't believe this Najee Harris is going to get 15 touches type of shit. Like Hampton's a stud. He's going to get the touches. He's a star. Pearsall or McMillan week 1. Now this is a great question because I have them pretty even, and I'm going to come out with my extended wide receiver and RB rankings past the top 12 on my sub only channel. If you guys want to sub to that, it's I think a few dollars a month. It's honestly not that much, and I think it's worth it for like all the rankings and stuff like that and in-depth stuff. Every week I'll be coming out with like top 50 to 100 guys at each position on that. So I would probably start Pearsall because Jennings, I mean, he's just got back to practice. I doubt he's going to be utilized even if he practices all week. He still wants a new contract. McMillan's going to get a plethora of targets, so I would not be shocked if he gets like 15 targets in week 1 because he only has Xavier Legette and Tyrone McMillan Bryce Young has. So I don't mind either. I kind of fuck with the Pearsall upside a little more than McMillan week 1. I just think the Niners have a better offense. I think they're going to be hungry to prove people wrong. I think a lot of people are taking Seattle in this game and they know it. And I think, Pearsall's target share was top 5 of any wide receiver in fantasy football in the last 2 games of last season. So Julie says, you think Ollie Gordon is a good stash pick? I do. In fact, I would not be shocked if Ollie Gordon, all of a sudden you see at 11 a.m. Eastern, Ollie Gordon is going to be starting for the Dolphins this week. I would not be shocked. Achane's calf is a serious issue. I don't give a fuck what they said about him practicing. Excuse my language. I don't really care. Like calf injuries, like you're really gonna give Devon Achane 20 touches with the calf injury. Like, come on. Is Mike McDaniel stupid? Like, I love Ollie Gordon. I think he's a great pickup. Do you start Keon Coleman or Xavier Legette or Hollywood at flex? I would start. Now that's tough. I'd probably go Coleman because you have the big play upside, especially if it's a PPR league. They're all receivers, so half PPR. I tend to lean running backs if you have one at flex. But yeah, Gibbs for Jacobs, RJ Harvey, and MHJ. Dude, that's a lot. I would do that in a heartbeat. Who's giving you Jacobs, RJ Harvey, and Marvin Harrison Jr. for Gibbs? Dude, I want to play in your league. Invite me. Henderson or Pearsall? I'd lean Pearsall this week. I just want to see what Henderson brings to the table in that offense right away. We know he's going to be a superstar once they give him the majority of touches, But we have to remember too, they extended Ramondre to a pretty substantial contract, I think, last year. And even though he's a serial fumbler, it's like they're still going to use him a little bit, especially week one. Like Vrabel's going to use the veterans. He's not a big rookie guy to start right away. Henderson's going to have to earn every bit of his touches. So week one, I don't know about week one, but once we get into like week 3, week 4, Henderson's going to get a majority of the touches for sure, because you can't deny the talent. Harvey or DJ Moore at flex. This week, DJ Moore. Again, Harvey's in a similar situation to Trevion, except Trevion's excellent in pass pro. Harvey is not. That's Harvey's one weakness. He led all of college football on 10-plus yard runs. Really like RJ Harvey a lot, just not this week. I'm sitting him in every league this week. Would you trade McConkey plus a 2026 second plus, for McLaurin, Waddle, and a 26 third? I'd keep McConkey in the second. McLaurin's 30, especially if this is a dynasty league. McLaurin's 30. And Waddle is, what's his career ever going to be? Like Tua, they'll probably replace within a year and a half, 2 years. They have no offensive line. He's always hurt. And I love Waddle, but that's just the fact of who he is. Start Diggs or Ridley. I would start Ridley this week. Igbuka or DJ Moore. I'd probably go Igbuka, but it's close. I think that, the Falcons just don't have as good of a defense, I think, as people give them credit for. Yeah. Should you start Dak or Baker this week? Baker. Dak is a brutal matchup. And I love Dak Prescott this year in fantasy football, but Eagles, tough matchup. He will pass a lot because he'll be down the entire game. So that's a positive if it ends up being like 42 to like 21 and he gets 3 passing touchdowns in the fourth quarter or something like that. But you got to remember, too, the Eagles are going to try and dictate the pace of the game, which I think they will, which means they're going to run a lot. And Dak's just not going to have the ball that often. Chase Brown and Pickens for London? Fuck no. Keep Chase Brown and Pickens, bro. Chase Brown and London are basically 1v1, and you are giving up a guy in pick. That's just ridiculous. Don't do that. And again, I appreciate it if you guys not only follow me on TikTok, but wherever you're watching, sub on YouTube, follow me on X. I love all of you guys, whether you agree with me or not. And, just the support means so much to me. And also, if you want to join a Survivor League, I have one, Splash Sports. I'm partnered with them. Let's all join that. It's fun. There's $11,000 in prizes if we all sign up. And you have up to 5 entries. So as long as you deposit money, you go in there. It's really fun. We don't have enough people signed up right now, so I'm trying to get everybody signed up. People are being very lazy about it, so I'd appreciate it if you guys sign up. And the link is in my bio. Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. Jeremy's that dude. Jeremy is like such a big supporter, man. I love that guy. That guy's such a winner. Okay, for the flex, let's see, Harvey or Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason. The thing is like both aren't great starts, but Harvey, I'd be shocked if he gets more than 10 to 15 touches week one. Went heavy with rookies this year. Henderson and Mecca, RJ Harvey, Tyler Warren, Derek. I like it a lot, bro. I'm all in on rookies, bro. People try and cook me and say, oh, you have too many fucking rookies in every league. I always draft 5 or 6. I do not care. Rookies, my philosophy, what has worked in the past, and especially with this rookie class, which is extra good, especially at the wide receiver position and RB position, the 2 most important positions in fantasy football. You take 5 or 6 rookies, 3 or 4 of them are going to pan out. And the other 2 you don't start anyways, right? So for me, I always take, and they're undervalued. Like I think Harvey's undervalued in round 6 and 7. Henderson's probably undervalued in round 4 and 5. And then you got Igbuka, who's underrated in round 9, Golden round 8, like Warren round 8. All these guys are undervalued except Genty. Even Hampton's probably undervalued in round 4. So like, I always look at it like this. I'm never going to play it safe in fantasy football. You're already taking a risk because people get hurt. It's football. It's a brutal sport anyways. And at the end of the day, I always go on upside. And the metrics have shown that if you have 4 to 6 rookies on your team, 3 of them are going to pan out. At least half, probably more than half if your evaluations are correct and you choose the correct rookies. But rookies tend to be the most undervalued. Like McMillan should have an excellent year. Igbuka should have an excellent year. I would start McMillan over Igbuka week 1 just because he's going to have a plethora of targets. We got my boy Craig. Craig, hopping on the live, bro. We should go see, let's go see a movie this week, bro, on Friday with SJ. I'm ready for the Who's House League, bro. Golden, Golden, Jameson Williams or Judy. I'd probably go Matthew Gold. Actually, no, Jerry Jeudy is an easier matchup. Cincinnati's defense is horrible, dude. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, sir. Um, you just got Ken Walker for who in Jalen Warren? Nor. I didn't see the L's. Let's see. He's gonna resend that. Sutton or Ted McMillan. I'd go Ted McMillan again. Plethora of targets. Rank your 12-man: Mahomes, Henry, Kamara, BTJ, Devontae Smith. I don't love it only because of Smith and Andrews, Loveland. A lot of risk with those two tight ends. And Devontae is just way too high. Worthy, I'm in on now. I used to be out on, but with the 6-game suspension for Rice, I'm in on him. Kamara, BTJ, Henry are obviously excellent. So Jamo or Egbuka week 1. I mean, Jameson Williams might torch their corners. I'd probably go I'd go Jameson Williams week 1. That's close though. I think they're both going to be good. Brandon, please help me feel good about your Juwan Jennings pick. I don't hate it, bro. I mean, he's not going to play well this week because he just came back to practice. But if Pearsall isn't as good as we think, Jennings might be a steal of a pick. You have to remember, he finishes like the wide receiver 27, I believe. Now I have to fact check. That's just off memory. Let's see. Wide receiver rankings 2024 season. You can always check on Fantasy Pros too. And remember, use code Deutsch for Fantasy Pros. You'll get some free stuff, which is great. Link in my bio for that. They have a great site there. It's making me sign in, which is freaking crazy. But my point is the one game against the Rams like catapulted him to the wide receiver 27. Like if you take away that game against the Rams, he only has 3 other games over 12 fantasy points, I believe. Now I have to confirm with you. I'm going to check right now. Let's go to 2024 fantasy football finishes. Now it should show up since I'm logged in. Okay, I have it right here. And you have to make it a count to even see this. But he finished, okay, so he finished as the wide receiver 24. So I was 3 off. And yes, the 47 fantasy point game. And then he had 128 fantasy point game, 125 fantasy point game, 116, 113, the rest under 12. So for me, I mean, he's a high risk, high upside guy. Obviously, Brock likes him. He likes to throw to him. That's evident. It was evident in the Super Bowl a few years ago, too. So, yeah, we got one from YouTube. Downs, Cup, or Andrews PPR. I would go Downs week 1. CMC going to get locked up. You're being biased in that RB vid. Dude, okay. So here's 2 things. First of all, he's Christian McCaffrey. If he looks anything like he did before pre-injury, he's going to dominate. Doesn't matter who the fuck he's playing, first off. Second of all, Seahawks fans, I love you guys, but they're always overrating their defensive line. That has been a weakness for them for about since the Legion of Boom. The trench play has been abysmal. If I'm the Niners, I am running up their fucking throat the entire game. Excuse my language, because they have a great secondary. So I don't know. I think McCaffrey will have a pretty big week. It doesn't matter who he's going to be, who he's playing. He could be fucking playing the Eagles. I'd rank him second. He's Christian McCaffrey. He's the best pass catcher of all time at the running back position. Thoughts over Breece Hall? I think Breece is a fade, man. I like Braylon a lot. I think he's a better downhill runner than Breece. Breece is still good. I think it's somewhat of a value in the 50s if you can get him, but round 3, round 4 is still too high for me. And I could absolutely be wrong about that. I'm not confident in fading Breece, to be honest with you, guy. Yeah. 12-man PPR. Jettas, Neighbors, Brown, Hubbard, Ingram, Devontae Adams. I love that team. That's an A+ team. How you feel about Bill? Dude, I love Bill. But again, I think it's kind of getting out of hand. Like Eckler's still very good. And you also have Chris Rodriguez. Like I think Bill is a good stash. It's just like he's going like round 6 now. It's like kind of high for me. I don't know. When Hampton over Breece, yeah, of course. I mean, to me, that's like I have Breece ranked. I think on my draft thing, my draft guide. Let's see. I think I have him ranked 64th. I have Hampton ranked in the 20s or 30s. Okay, so I have Hampton ranked 36 overall in my rankings. And where do I have Breece? Oh my God, dude, this is low. 52. Yeah. I mean, so round 5 might be okay for him. Thoughts on Aaron Jones this season? I think he loses his job at some point, guys. to Jordan Mason, or at least it's more in Mason's favor in snap percentage. But again, I don't feel extremely confident about that. He's just getting older, and they don't make that trade for Mason unless they see that he's becoming washed. You know what I mean? Like Mason was a dog when he played last year. His yards per carry was like 5.5 last year. Again, you could say, oh, Shanahan's system, maybe, whatever. I guess we'll see. But Kevin O'Connell's a great, great, great play caller. Let's look. Okay, so we got a question from YouTube right here. Pollard, Swift, Judy. Start. What do you mean start 3? You just put 3. You mean start 2 between Pollard, Swift, and Judy? I would go Pollard and Judy. Swift has a brutal matchup week 1. That Minnesota defensive line is going to be elite. Like everyone talks about all the other teams in the division. Minnesota is going to be good. DK for Igbuka. Is this crazy? I would keep DK. And I like Igbuka a lot. Again, hate to interrupt, but make sure you're following me on TikTok. You're sub to YouTube. You're following me on X as well. I'm trying to build my X following. My old page got deleted on X during the NFL draft, which sucks. So I'm starting new. That's why I only have like 200 followers right now on X. But make sure you're doing that. Make sure you join the Survivor League. It'll be super fun. And yeah, that's going to be awesome. Make sure you do that. Splash. I have a partnership with them. Fantasy Pros. And Chalkboard. So Chalkboard, you all use code Deutsch for Fantasy Pros and for Chalkboard and for Splash. I got it. Do I even answer TikTok questions? Mr. Mike, I've answered about 1,000 of them in a row. I just every once in a while I have to, plug my page a little bit. I would love support if I'm answering questions. You know what I mean? At least a follow. Diggs, Pearsall, or Cup as your wide receiver 3. I'd probably go Pearsall week 1. Is Aaron Jones a viable choice for flex this week? Probably. Love your videos. I have CD, Chase, Brown, Amari, and Hampton, and Igbuka. What do you think? I think that's an A+ 5 guys right there, bro. I appreciate your support so much. Start Ridley or Golden. I would go this week. I'd go Ridley. I mean, the target share is just going to be so substantial. Golden probably has a big game though because they are dealing with some injuries as well. Let's see. Traded Bijan for BTJ and Hurts. Did you cook? I mean, it depends. Is it a super flex league? I would have kept Bijan, but I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Hurts is going to have a big year. So, I mean, if you're running backs, if you have depth there and you needed a receiver, it makes sense. But yeah, is Tetaroa a good wide receiver 2 I think he's a good wide receiver 1 by the end of the year. I'm not even going to front with you guys. I think McMillan finishes top 15 at the position. Should you start James Cook or Igbuka? We got this from YouTube, this question, because I'm live streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and X right now. Should you start James Cook or Igbuka? I would start James Cook. I don't think it's particularly close. I know the Igbuka hype is getting a little out of hand. Like, I love Igbuka, but we're not starting him over top 3 round guys. That's just not a thing. Not yet, unless he puts up like 40 freaking points, then we can, have that conversation. Start Pickens or Igbuka. I would start Igbuka. Pickens has a brutal matchup. They're both wide receiver 2s. Igbuka is going up against a worse secondary. Not saying the Falcons secondary is bad, but you can put points up on him. How do you think Scadaboo will turn out? I think he'll be good in year 2 and 3. I think it's still Tracy's RB room this year. We'll see how he plays. I like Tracy a lot. So I hated that draft spot for Cam Scadaboo. If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, I'm looking at your questions on my phone because they don't show up on my computer unless it's through YouTube or X. I don't know why. So that's why I'm on my own TikTok live with my other page, Cold Tub Confessions. Make sure you follow that too. If you want more entertainment, more, I guess you could say hotter takes, even though I believe everything I say on that page. People think it's rage bait. It's not. But I'm a little more, how do I say it, honed in on this page. This page is less entertainment, just complete analysis. Start Tetaroa or Igbuka. I would start McMillan. Pickens, DK, or Bill week 1. Probably DK. I think you got to roll with the upside there. Bill, we just don't know, dude. Like, Bill is just we have to see it first. Like, he probably plays well week 1, but we just don't know. They have 3 running backs still with Eckler and, of course, Chris Rodriguez and Bill. Trade Henderson for McMillan. I'd keep Henderson, Braden. Yeah, I'd keep Henderson, bro, for sure. You got cooking like round 5 because I was drafting when he's. Oh, that's great. You drafted early. That's the only benefit I've seen of all time where you drafted early and it worked out. That's great. I would still start Cook over Igbokwe this week. If Igbokwe goes off for like 40 points, I mean, we reevaluate on a week-to-week basis, of course. I just tend to look at matchups, but you play the elite guys if you have a choice. If you don't have a choice, you always play the elite guys. Like you could say CD has a brutal matchup against Philly's secondary. Yeah, but you're still going to start CD Lamb. You're not going to not start CD Lamb. Start Jake Ferguson or Mason Taylor this week. You also got Fields. I like Fields. I like the Fields Mason Taylor stack. I would probably go Jake Ferguson though. I just think, Dak targeted him so much the last time he was healthy that I think Ferguson's going to end up being a steal in fantasy leagues like he was a few years ago. How do you think Golden will end up? I'm not a big Matthew Golden guy, but he probably should be good. It's all about LaFleur. Like, remember Jayden Reed dominated the first week and wasn't utilized like the rest of the year? That's my only concern with Golden. Like, how much better is he actually than Jayden Reed? Even if he's a lot, do we trust Matt LaFleur to, keep getting him touches and targets on a week-to-week basis? That's my big issue with Matt. And any Packers player that's a wide receiver. Should you start Igbokwe or Worthy? I would start Worthy week 1. Especially in Brazil, everyone's slipping. The secondary slips on a freaking vertical route. He's gone for 100 yards. Just subscribed on YouTube. Bro, I appreciate it so much. And bonus bowling, if you want to join the Survivor League, dude, we need a ton of spots to fill up before the season. Link in my bio for that. It'll be super fun. You can have up to 5 prizes are up to $11,000, and it's just to pick them each week. So if you want to pick Patriots over Raiders, you can do that. All that stuff. So let's see. You have Mayfield and Burrow. Should you hold and trade one? Man, I would. Do you have Chase? If you don't have Chase, maybe you could get a fair amount for Burrow. Question is, do you have receivers from Mayfield or from Burrow? Like if you have Higgins, you keep Burrow. If you have Igbokwe or Evans, you keep Baker. Jeremy says Ridley or Dunze week 1. That's a tougher one. I'm going to go Ridley just because we know that's a consistent target share. I want to see the Bears offense full-fledged first. It's also a brutal matchup against the Vikings. They're a pretty good defense. I would say top 5. So 49ers division winners. That's a given, though. Everyone's picking the Rams. They don't understand the Rams have a brutal schedule, even if the Rams are, quote, a better team than the Niners. Niners' best team they play is the Rams and Texans. They don't play the Bills. They don't play the Ravens. They don't play anything. Let's see. Flex Pickens or where I saw this. Oh, or Dobbins week 1. I would probably still play. Low-key, I'd play Dobbins over Pickens week 1. That's a brutal matchup for Pickens. And we know Dobbins, at least in week 1, is going to do well. Now, we don't know about future weeks because Harvey's elite, but I would do Dobbins. I would play him. Who should you start this week at the flex? Pickens, Pearsall, Harvey, Henderson. Those are all good questions. They're all good options. I think by process of elimination, I would go Pearsall this week. I think he has the best matchup and probably the highest target share of any of them. 12-man, Justin Fields, Lamb, Higgins, Sutton, Kamara, Wilson, Loveland, Bigsby, Addison. I like it, dude. I like the Fields and Wilson stack. I know people hate Fields, but he's going to be good in fantasy. It's the same thing with Kyler. Like, is Kyler that good of a quarterback in real life? No. But in fantasy, he's great. Now, he's a much better quarterback than Fields. Probably a bad analogy. But Fields is going to have like 1,000 yards rushing if he plays the entire year. And Wilson's going to get a boatload of targets. You might as well have that stack. If you have Garrett Wilson, I advise you guys, if you haven't drafted yet, to have Fields as well for that stack. K9, Reeker, Pearsall week 1. I'd probably go K9. Yeah. Oh, what's up, dude? It's in my bio on TikTok. So I have a campsite bio. It's kind of like a link tree. And basically, when you click on it, it'll say Survivor League. And it's just going to ask you want to join the league. And then, yeah, basically, it's the second thing under my fantasy football draft guide. So, yeah. Let's see. Pearsall, Pollard, or Pickens week 1. Yeah, I'd probably that's a tough one. I'd go Pearsall. I like Pollard week 1, but I'd go Pearsall. Bryce Young or Fields in fantasy. I would go Fields because of the rushing upside. Why is Neighbors' projections reportedly dropping? Because he's questionable. No one knows if he plays this week. I think he's going to play, but when guys are questionable, their projections drop a little bit. 10-man, you got Baker, Bijan, Bucky, BTJ, Higgins, Mark Andrews, Tay, and Pickens. I like it, dude. I like the team. I don't love Higgins or Andrews, but I love Tay at his ADP right now. I love Pickens at his ADP. Bijan and Bucky are elite 2 picks right there. By the way, y'all, I'll post my auction league draft. You got to tell the people in my league they're tripping. My auction league is elite. I had a super flex auction 3 keeper. And I'm playing for the future because what you do in auction superflex 3 keeper, you have to keep a quarterback, right? I got Amari and Hampton for $21 out of a 210 budget, so I'm keeping Hampton. RJ Harvey for 10, Tedero McMillan for 9, and Rashee Rice for 8. I mean, I'm probably going to take Rashee Rice, and I have to keep a quarterback, so Stroud for 4, Caleb Williams for I think I've got Caleb for 18, Brock Purdy for 14. So I still have to decide on that. But basically, guys, I got Chase Brown was my first guy that I bid on and got, right? So I don't have any tier 1 players. But let me read you this fucking team. And I want you to tell me, these guys are tripping. This team is elite, bro. I don't know what people are. By the way, if ESPN gives you an A+ in your draft, you're fucked. If they give you an F, it's good. That means you know more than the system. Trust me. You always gotta have big upside guys. So Brock Purdy is a super flex auction. Okay. Brock Purdy, Chase Brown, Amari Hampton, Devontae Adams, Tedero McMillan, George Kittle, DK Metcalf, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Rashee Rice, Ricky Pearsall, George Pickens, Tyler Warren. It's an elite team. I'm winning this league. I don't care what people say. And I'm projected to be last. When you're projected to be last, you're going to win your league. Always remember that. Because all these algorithms don't account into how good McMillan's going to be, how good Rashee Rice is going to be when he's back, how good Devontae's still going to be in the Rams offense. By the way, Puka has missed time in every single year. So that's another thing. Yeah, I do dynasty advice all the time. So you can ask any questions for that too. But yeah, dude. So my goal was to get a bunch of young players, keep 3 of them, and then next year I'll have the most money in the league to get whoever the fuck I want. So, which will be good. I don't know who's going to be coming out in the draft, but I'll be able to get some great players. Is Dobbins RB1 this week? I do think he's RB1. Should you try to trade Puka? No, I'd keep him. He does miss time, but when he's healthy, his fantasy points per game last year was 21.2, which was second, I believe, behind Chase. That's it. Double flex question. Yeah, Kyle. Josh Allen, should you start Shakir, Coleman, Jacoby Myers, or Ollie Gordon? Yeah, so you have Josh Allen. I would start. Yeah, dude, it sounds like a good team, right? Everyone's tripping. Everyone's like, oh, this team fucking sucks because I don't have a tier 1 player. I didn't get a Neighbors, or Neighbors went too high. So Neighbors went for $45 out of a 210 budget. And if I keep Neighbors at $45 every year, that's one guy. I still have 2 more. And I would have to keep Neighbors at $45 every year. So I'm minus 45 in my budget going into next season without the other 2 keepers. That's why I didn't outbid him for Malik Neighbors. And I got Chase Brown for $27. So I was fine with that. By the way, Kyle, I'd probably go Jacoby Myers if he ends up playing. And I would start Coleman over Shakir just on the upside. I think you might as well go with a safe guy right there when Jacoby Myers, assuming he plays. Now, we did fucking request a trade, so we have to stay updated on that. But if it says he's active, start him, right? He's still Jacoby Myers. He had the quietest 1,000-yard season of all time last year. So what would you say the value of Connor or Benson would be? Trying to grab both of them from 2 different managers to help me contend this year. I think the value is, so you want the Cardinals running back long term. I wouldn't rule out the Cardinals drafting a running back next year. I don't think they're as high in Benson as other people think. I do think Benson gets more carries. Connor, this is probably his last good year because he's 30, 31. So that always concerns me. I'd probably stay away from both of them, bro. Honestly, I would go for a guy I'm trying to think of an older running back that you could get a younger running back on the team with, but not too young where the value is so extreme in a dynasty league. Yeah, I mean, you could start both Bills, bro. It's just a brutal matchup. You know, one of them's going to go off, but what happens if I mean, you know Josh, bro. Like Josh could throw to Dalton Kincaid 100 times and not throw to either of them. That's my only problem with the Bills offense. It's so hard to project. I prefer Coleman this week, but Shakir's going to be playing out of the slot. He might be able to get open because of his separation numbers are ridiculous, right? So Coleman's separation numbers aren't great, but he's a vertical threat. So obviously he's big. I think Josh will get him downfield probably for 70 yards, hopefully a touchdown. Yeah, you could just YOLO and trade for RJ Harvey. Yeah, I would do that. I like RJ Harvey. And I think your big argument point for trading for RJ Harvey in a dynasty league is that he's 24. Tell them that. He's 24. Like he's not, he is 6 years and that's it. You'd rather have Hampton, Genty, whatever. He's 24. I'm not going to give you what you want. Just keep, getting the price down. And yeah, no worries. That's my only concern, Kyle, with with playing both Bills. It's like the Bills offense. Like we don't know who's going to go off. I think the upside is higher of Coleman. The floor is probably higher for Shakir. But I think starting both is just a batshit crazy scenario because then it's like, yeah, they could both go off, and it could be just those three guys and you win the matchup. But if you start both, you have a super high chance of just single-handedly losing your matchup there too. That's the only problem. Let's see, McMillan or Pickens for flex. Yeah, guys, I like McMillan this week. Pickens has a brutal matchup. Hawkinson and Tracy for Connor and Warren. Yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Warren's going to be awesome this year. I think Connor's probably a little bit better this year than Tracy. And I think Hawkinson and Warren are kind of even in terms of production. Blue or Gordon? Ooh. Well, Blue's not going to start. Javante's starting. Blue is a game changer, though. I would rather start Ollie Gordon because, one, Achan's dealing with a calf injury. Two, Jane Blue, they're not going to run the entire game. The Cowboys are going to be down. They'll pass. Now, he could get catches out of the backfield, right? Like, that's something that Blue can do and is good at. So that's a positive. But I'd probably go Gordon. I just think he's going to get more snaps than people think this week, especially with no Jalen Wright, Achan dealing with a calf injury. All of a sudden, Gordon could line up at the 1 yard line and get a touchdown. That's a possibility that I don't think anybody's ready for. And Gordon's going to be the top waiver guy after this week. Him or Marks, probably. Again, I'm going to continue answering your questions, continue on. Make sure you're following me here on TikTok. You're subbing to my YouTube and supporting me on X as well. I'm trying to grow my X following, guys. I'm trying to do some more written content, but I feel no urge since I have the least amount of followers on X. But I can go more in depth on that too. And yeah, if you guys want to join a Survivor League, super fun. Link in my bio, my campsite bio for that. It'll be super fun. The Survivor League, $11,000 in prizes on Splash. And also, if you want more easier time to sync your league and then also have a free trial of Fantasy Pros Premium, just use my code that's also in my bio. And if you guys are any DFS people, I don't advise DFS to the level other people do, but I do have a sponsorship with Chalkboard. I think it's the best DFS app if I'm using any of them. I think it's easily the best, and I don't think enough people are on it, so make sure you use code Deutsch for that too. All right, let's answer some more questions. Pacheco, Ford, or Pollard? I like Pacheco between those three. JSN, Igbuka, Walker, Ford. I think you got to play K9. I think the Niners D-line will be a little better, but again, yeah. What's a fair offer for RJ Harvey with futures? I'd probably give a 26 second and someone really good that's a little older, like a Devontae Adams. If this is pure dynasty, somebody like that, like someone who's only going to have one good year left, plus a second round pick or a third rounder. I think that's fair value. But I would say you can overpay to about a second and a good player that's over 30 and see if he budges for that. I think that should get it done. The second's still enticing. It's not a first. Obviously, you don't want to give up a first for RJ Harvey. But I think the second in next year's draft isn't going to be that valuable. I think it's a top-heavy draft, especially for playmakers. So, Cody, your team is Lamar Jackson, Chase Brown, Shuba, Hubbard, CeeDee Lamb, Ted McMillan, Jake Ferguson, Emeka Egbuka, Tyler Loop, RJ Harvey, Trey Benson, Ollie Gordon, Trey Harris, Roma Dunes. Dude, I love that team. I love that team. RJ Harvey owner wants Pearsall plus somebody. I don't mind that. I mean, look, you got to understand Ayuk's going to be coming back off of that injury and he'll be elite. Pearsall and Harvey are the same age. They're both 24, right? Like, I prefer the running back with more upside, better offensive line. If you wanted him straight up, I would say do it. If you want to add a third with Pearsall, I don't think that's bad value either. If Pearsall breaks out, I look like an idiot. But you got to understand the 49ers have like 5 guys they throw to. So it's not like Pearsall, week 1, he might get a monopoly on the target share because guys are injured. But once we get to like week 7 when Ayuk is back and next year, I mean, this is a dynasty league. Ayuk is still a baller. Ayuk was a top 10 to 15 receiver before he got hurt. Yeah, you smacked that draft, Cody. That was a good draft. Should you play Ridley, Wilson, or T-Mac this week? I would play McMillan. Plethora of targets. No one's doing anything else besides maybe Leggett. T. Higgins, Jacoby Myers, Ricky Pearsall, Marvin Harrison, or Jameson Williams for flex. I would go Ricky Pearsall this week, man. I'm all in on him this week. I do love Marvin Harrison Jr. Why can't you start multiple? By the way, I have Pearsall at like 14 on my wide receiver list this year. I mean, not this year, this week against Seattle. I think he's going to kill him. Absolutely kill him. His separation numbers are ridiculous. It's just, and Brock doesn't throw the ball downfield as well, right? So like Pearsall is going to be a guy that's going to get like out route 10 yards, 15 yards, slant routes. Like he's going to get like 10 catches this week. I'm not saying they're going to win, but like he'll get 10 catches probably, close to it, 8 at least probably. I see. TJ Hawkinson or Njoku. I would go Hawk. Actually, I'd go Njoku. Njoku is an easy matchup, right? He's got Cincy. They'll just check down to him. Flacco will get him the ball a lot. Remember what Flacco did for David Njoku down the stretch a few years ago? I think Njoku's a must start as long as Flacco's starting. You got blessed on receivers. Yeah, bro, you got a lot of good receivers. Christina says, should you drop Bateman for Hollywood? Christina, I would keep Rashad Bateman. I think Bateman has a little more upside. Hollywood Brown, like, yeah, he might benefit from Rashee Rice being out 6 weeks, but you also have Travis Kelce. You have Jalen Royals, who's very good, a rookie who I think they're going to utilize more than people think, and Xavier Worthy, right? So I think Bateman, he's still the 2, right? Like, he's still the 2 behind Zay Flowers. So, yeah. Thoughts on Breece Hall and Laporta? Yeah, I don't like either this year. I don't. I think I'll leave it at that. Laporta, I think, was close to last in target share at the tight end position for his ADP. So like he was being drafted round 2. I think he finished as the tight end 9 in his target, and that was only because of touchdowns. So I don't love Laporta. Breece Hall, I think it's a committee backfield. I do like Breece Hall, but yeah. Caleb Johnson, is he going to be a breakout candidate? Yeah, he's going to take the job at some point. Jaylen Warren cannot take that much of a role that he's going to have this week. Yeah, Laporta's banned. I mean, and the discrepancy, by the way, after the first 3 tight ends in fantasy football, like after Kittle, McBride, and Bowers in those first 3 rounds, I'm not taking a tight end until round 7, 8. I have 1 draft left, 2 because I have a guillotine league. I'm in actually like 8 leagues. I think that's way too many. I need to be down to like 3 or 4 next year. But yeah, I mean, I would probably just wait till Engram, Kraft, or Warren at that point. I'm not touching Laporta, Hawkinson, any of those guys. Were you dumb for going wide receiver heavy your first picks? No, dude, you got to take value where there's value. Like I had 1 draft where my RB2 is horrible. It's like RJ Harvey or something. And I love RJ Harvey, but I have options there. I have Bill, I have Nick Chubb, who's going to start, Woody Marks, Ollie Gordon. But like, the thing is like I had the 12th pick in one league. I took Puka and then Nico Collins. You're going to give me both of those guys? I'm not taking Achane there. I'm scared about the calf. And Genty and Henry were gone. So I think you just got to take value where there's value. And you're always going to find some player, whether it be a running back or a wide receiver, on waivers each year that's going to win you a league. So to me, I'm always going to go with the best available. I can find guys and snipe guys that are going to be good on the waiver wire. So Egbuka or Harrison Jr. This week I would go Marv. Yeah. He's got New Orleans, right? Arizona's got New Orleans. Yeah, Marv's going to cook this week. New Orleans is dog shit. Atrocious team. No offense. Cut Rashad for Woody. Yeah, I would pick up Woody Marks and drop Bateman. For him, yeah, I would do that for sure. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries, bro. Sutton, Ridley, or Wilson. I'd probably go. That's so hard. I'd probably go Garrett Wilson. I think you just got to trust what he's going to be this week and this year. He's the only guy Fields is going to throw to. Pickens or Smith this week? Probably Smith. I think they obviously are playing each other. They have brutal matchups, both of them. But yeah, I'd probably go Smith this week. Trade Tyreek, Drake London for Bijan? No, I'll keep Tyreek and Drake London. Whoever's trying to trade with you is smart. They want London, who's going to be a top 3 to 5 receiver, and Tyreek, who's getting completely undervalued right now. I know he has like 8 baby mamas, but it doesn't fucking matter. He can play football. It's like, you know, we're talking about football here. I don't care about his fucking personal life right now. Like, you know, like I think people are blowing it out of proportion. He still has something you can't teach, and that's speed. Like he's just going to get past the defense. Waddle or Emeka at flex week 1. I'd go Igbuka, easier matchup. Waddle's more like cryptocurrency. I think Igbuka probably has a more consistent target share this week and all year. Should you be worried about Jacoby Myers? A little bit. I mean, look, Jacoby is going to be pretty good. The problem is he requested a trade. I don't think there's anything he can do. There's games this week, so he's probably staying on the team. He didn't like the Amari Cooper signing, but whatever. Let's see here. Any thoughts on your work league? Lamb, JD5, Bucky, Irving, Hampton, DJ Moore, Sutton, RJ Harvey, Dak, ETN, Ford, Mason, Warren. That's a great team. Coker, you can put on IR, pick someone else up. Harvey, elite upside. ETN's great value right now. JD5, I think I don't love. I would have faded him at his ADP this year, but he has rushing ability. But I think there's more tape on him. I just don't think he'll have as good of a year as last year. But it's still a great quarterback to have. CD's going to be great. Bucky's going to be great. Hampton's elite. DJ Moore, probably great value there. Sutton is good. Dak's a great backup. Who's your favorite player this year for fantasy? Like the one player you feel like you have to have in every draft? For me, it's Hampton, Harvey, or McMillan always. Probably McMillan. McMillan's so good. And just his target share is going to be so substantial there. Yeah. Sorry, I just want to finish the coffee that I had for a sec. You like Torrey Horton or Ayuman or more? I think Horton has a clear path to snaps probably right away. Lockett's gonna snatch somebody like some targets away from Ayuman, and I love Ellick. I think Ellick was underrated in the draft for sure. Prescott or Mayfield as a backup, I would prefer Dak. Honestly, I would try and trade Mayfield, but if you have to choose between dropping one of them, I think you probably have to drop. Oh, that's so hard. I wouldn't drop either of them. I would just try and trade Mayfield if you have both, but I prefer Dak this year, which is an unpopular opinion. But are we taking JSN or Kyron? In fantasy, I would take JSN. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. You feel like Judy is getting slept on a bit. I like Judy a lot. He has a great schedule to start off the year. He starts off against Cincinnati, who obviously does not have a good defense. T-Mac, Judy, Igbuka. I would start McMillan and Judy over Igbuka this week. T-Mac's untouchable. Yeah, dude. I love T-Mac. He's going to go off this week. They have no receivers. I think when Coker comes back, Coker will be the wide receiver 2 over Xavier Legette. And I've been a Coker guy for a long time. Since last year, me and my boy Lucas, who does great evals, he was a scout for NFL. He was telling me about Coker, like this guy should not go undrafted. He did. He was the same guy. He told me Puka was going to be good before as well, which is like he's pretty good about that. We've been in on Coker for a while, and his guy this year was Harvey. He knows Harvey's going to be a superstar. So, and Henderson, he likes both, but Harvey probably more than Henderson, which is shocking. I don't think we see that much. You might take Henry at 2 tonight in standard. Dude, I don't hate it. I mean, look, if you have the second overall pick, take Henry there if you want. If you're hell bent on that, just make sure you take Lamar with that second or third round pick because you're going to have almost back-to-back picks. Just make sure you get that stack so you're getting every rushing upside thing there. I have the 7th pick in my big money league tomorrow. I'm probably going to take McCaffrey if he's there, but if he's not, I'm going to take Henry. Probably do the same thing. I think Henry's going to be great. I think he defies age. He's one of those guys. It's like, he's the only 6'3", 250, 250 running back in history, right? So I think that's why. And have you seen his workouts? I don't know. Have you guys seen those hill workouts he did? I tried to do one the other day. Dude, he's insane. I don't know. I was panting almost immediately. Like he does it for like hours upon hours upon hours. My heart rate got to like 185 quick, and I was like, oh shit. Let's see, Emeka or Swift. I would probably start Emeka this week. Swift is a brutal matchup. Yeah, dude, Coker's the man. Do you think Igbuka has a chance to be in rookie wide receiver 1 over Tet this year? There's a chance, but he's not even the wide receiver 1 in his team. Like Evans would have to miss time. That would have to happen for it to be there. Okay, so we got a question here, a trade question. Trade Connor, Kraft, Lamar, Sutton for Burrow, Bowers, or trade away Hampton instead of Connor? No. Keep Hampton at all costs. I would just keep your team, bro. I would keep Kraft, Connor, Lamar, and Sutton. That guy's trying to trade rape you. Don't do that. Drop or hold Diggs. I think you got to hold him right now. There's not many other wide receivers at the moment. Start Trevion Henderson or D Swift. Henderson probably. Swift is a brutal matchup. Igbuka or Harrison Jr. for the whole year. Harrison Jr., but it's closer than it really should be. Start Pearsall, Pickens, or Harvey this week. Pearsall. I think Pearsall's a lock it in start. Yeah. Landon says Harvey or Smith week 1. I'd lean Harvey, but it's close. I mean, Smith is high upside, but it's also very risky. Olave, Hunter, Tillman, or Aaron Jones at flex. I'd go Olave start this week. Yeah. You worried about Judkins? Well, he hasn't signed yet, has he? I didn't draft him in any leagues. I like Sampson if Judkins doesn't play. James Conner or Breece Hall this season? Probably Conner. They're both like right there though. Conner is really risky because he's older. At least Breece is like 25, right? So he still has fresher legs. So I'll probably change that. Breece Hall probably overall slightly. Kenneth Walker or Igbuka, I'd go K9 even against a solid defense for the Niners. I think their D-line's going to be better than people think, especially against the run. But K9 just is a star. You got to start him as long as he's healthy. Kenneth Walker or Igbuka, K9. Hubbard or JSN week 1. I'd lean Hubbard, but it's close. I'd like JSN this week. Emeka or Pearsall. Let's see. Emeka or Pearsall. I'd probably go Ricky Pearsall this week. Yeah. Let's see. Downs for Pearsall. Yeah, dude. Trade Downs for Pearsall. Of course. Someone's going to accept that? Let me in your league, bro. That's crazy. Downs is great, but he's not Ricky Pearsall. Purdy or Drake May. This week, probably Brock. Brock's rushing upside, I think, is a little more substantial. Are we off Caleb Johnson since he's RB3? No. Dude, I mean, he's a rookie. Like, it happens all the time. Bucky didn't even get snaps until like week 4 or 5 last year. Like, substantial snaps. Let's see. Diggs or Igbuka at flex. I'd go Igbuka week 1. Need help. Bench 1 for week 1. Okay. Igbuka, Collins, Neighbors, JSN, Pickens. I would bench Pickens this week. Brutal matchup. I would just go off matchup there. Golden or Ridley week 1. Ridley. 49ers or KC defense. Probably Kansas City, but it's close. Do you drop Krosky Merritt and pick up Eckler? No, dude. I would keep Bill for now. I think there's far more upside with Bill long term than Eckler because Eckler is truly just a pass catcher at this point in his career. And I think he's good. I think he's still kind of underrated. Got to choose Sutton, Igbuka, or Pearsall this week. I'd probably go Pearsall, but I wouldn't hate it if you went Sutton. Yeah. Pearsall, McMillan, Moore. I would go Tetaroa. Actually, I would go Pearsall over Tet this week. I like Pearsall. I have him 14th overall this week. Niners have the easiest strength schedule this year, by the way. Yeah, it's true. But, I mean, it's like Seattle. Niners always start off slow. I think Seattle probably wins this game this week. And I'm saying that as a Niner fan. I don't even think Seattle's going to be that good, but they'll probably win that one. They're at home. They have Darnold. Who knows? The only benefit for the Niners is the Seattle offensive coordinator literally learned under Kyle Shanahan. So they should be able to decipher every single play he has. Caleb Williams or Drake May? Caleb this week. Jennings or Golden week 1? Golden. Golden or Diggs week 1? I'd go Golden. Brees or Aaron Jones week 1? Brees, but it's close. Igbuka, Ridley or Cortland? I'd go Cortland week 1 over those guys. Etienne or Bucky Irving? Bucky week 1. Dak or Purdy? I would go probably Purdy week 1. Dak is a brutal matchup. Pearsall, Marv or Garrett? I would go Garrett, but it's close for all of them. T-Mac, Pearsall or Jones? Pearsall. McLaurin or DJ Moore? I'd go McLaurin. Debo, Bill or Dobbins and flex? Oof. That's a tough one. I mean, I might go Dobbins this week. I think he probably gets a touchdown against Tennessee. And I'm a big RJ Harvey guy, but I just think they're going to utilize him at the goal line probably a little more than they do Harvey this week. Jalen Warren, Tyron Tracy, David Montgomery. I would go David Montgomery. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, I'm going to hop off because I'm getting exhausted. I don't know why. I've been up really early. Make sure you're following me. If you have any more advice, feel free to DM me if you want any more advice. And make sure you sub to my YouTube, follow me on X, follow me on TikTok. And if you want to join the best competition, Survivor League, click in my bio for Splash Sports. We're doing a Survivor League there, 11,000 in prizes. Make sure you check out Fantasy Pros. You use code Deutsch, and Chalkboard. Use code Deutsch as well. I love you guys. I appreciate all your support. I'll be on again tomorrow. So see y'all.